and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lissy, and if you have been watching our embroidery experiment, where I purchased this kit and I had a go at doing some felting and combining it with embroidery, then we're going to pick up where we left off in the last video. So it's been a little while since I recorded the last one. We've had family staying and various things going on. But today I'm going to be trying French knots. So I found a great tutorial from somebody called Cutesy Crafts on YouTube, and she does really easy, straightforward tutorials to follow. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the French knots done. And I do recommend you check her out as well if you are wanting to have a go at embroidery yourself. So I'll go over to the other camera and we will get started with our French knots. So I'm going to be doing this little French knot here and then moving on to these ones, and I'm using the rest of the thread that was still on my attached to the project, so there's not loads left, but we'll see how far we get before I then change the thread. So in order to do the French knot, I have learned that we come up first of all. So find the place. And then we hold our needle away like this, and then we're wrapping the thread around twice, and then we come back down the same place and keep this nice and taut. So hopefully this will work okay. And then we just pull it all through. And like so. And there's my first little French knot. They're really effective. So next I'm gonna come over to these other little dots that I've left. Wrap that twice and then go back through. Next to it. Three just over this side. It's a bit tricky. Thread. If you've been embroidering a while, it's easier, but I think I've lost this needle and I'm going to change the thread. So I'll just tie that back and come back. I've pre-threaded a new thread, or I think they call it floss. That's what I've seen to hear them calling it. So I'm gonna come back up and do these other two now. I think the thing with felting that I love so much is that you can be so precise as to where you're putting things, whereas with embroidery, it's kind of harder to come up in exactly the place that you want to come up. And it takes just a learning curve. It's very different. But I am enjoying it, enjoying the challenge of doing something a bit different as well. And also, I've not bothered to split the thread again because of the disaster with this cheap thread at the beginning. So that's why these knots are going to be looking slightly bigger, I suppose, than maybe they should be. But that's just because of this thread. I didn't want to risk all the stress of it going wrong again like it did at the beginning. So I'm happy enough with this, like this. So keep catching my fabric. Again, they just don't kind of go exactly where you want them like they do with felting. So that's a little bit frustrating. So the next thing coming up onto these side bits, I think. Um, Now I might try and do some of these as French knots as well, actually. Seeing as I'm on a roll now, I think they weren't necessarily supposed to be. I think I'll have a go. Maybe like this one because it's a bit smaller. Yeah, okay. And then I think I'm going to carry on with, I think this one is a satin stitch, which is just where you fill in the gap. So I'm going to do that one now. It's one of those projects that you can really get lost in. That's what I quite like about it. You haven't got to think too much once you kind of know what you're doing with the stitches. Quite methodical. I'd love to know if you have tried any of these projects yourself and any tips that you found or struggles that you've experienced. And leave me a comment. I'd love to know sort of how you're getting on with that as well. Or maybe you're just watching because you're interested in the process. But I do encourage you to have a go yourself because there's nothing like it sort of when you actually create something with your own hands. Satisfaction of being able to do that. The finished product is really rewarding. Like any craft, the nice thing about it is that you can really bring out your own personality. So whatever you want to express in your creative art, whether you want to do bold colours or something more abstract, something more realistic, kind of got the free rein to do that. Even with a project like this, that's we're just literally copying what it says here. You can still do your own thing. I'm kind of going off a little bit as I'm just feeling the stitches and getting kind of into it. It's really enjoyable. I think it's one of those projects where if I hadn't got the camera to worry about, then I'd probably maybe take it and just sit watching a film, kind of when you've not got to really pay too much attention. Be nice project to do. Or if you sat outside when it's a sunny day, it's something. Must be how people used to do it years ago when they kind of had no work and they just did this as hobbies. I think this kind of thing would be really nice on is maybe if you've got like a top that's got a hole in and you wanted to sort of upcycle it, or maybe you've I mean, sometimes I've got like grease marks on tops that you with all the different things that you can try and you can't get them out and instead of throwing your top away you could perhaps do something like embroider over the top or even a combination of embroidery and felting. So I think that would be a nice thing to have a go at and just experiment. If it's something that would be getting thrown anyway, then it's quite a good opportunity to try something out. I've always liked sort of applique or embroidery on projects. No, this isn't the neatest stitching in the world, but I think from my first go, it's pretty good. And the great thing about doing a first project like this is that the next time you do a project, it's definitely going to be better. So we've got that comparison, that starting point. So if you're ever worried about starting a project, then just start it because it'll be the only way that you'll actually ever make any progress. Practice makes progress. So the more that we do, the easier it'll be and the more efficient we'll become. I'm not sure if I've quite got this stitch right, but just kind of winging it. I definitely think in future I'm gonna get some better thread if I do something else because this was not the best thread to be using. It's okay like this, keeping it as the 6 strands, but when I tried to split it, it was just not good. Uh, It seemed to kind of damage the thread too much and it just kept breaking and snapping off and yeah, it wasn't good. It's slightly the wrong place, it's going over it again. Wondering what I'm doing. That bit. So left now, I've got to come down these bits on the side. I think that's the only white left on the butterfly. Um, yeah, so I'll just carry on down onto that section next. So that's where the white has got up to at this point. So I think the next thing is over onto these flowers. So from what I can make out, thinking that these must be French knots, these little ones, but I can't actually see anything labelled. Um, I think they must be because I can't really do anything else. So I'm going to try and do these French knots, I think, on these little bits. Plenty of practice at French knots in a minute. It's a bit easier now that the thread isn't so long. Yeah. Just feel like these definitely are a lot bigger than they should be with me doubling up the thread. So I think these would have probably looked better maybe with something different. Harder to do this bit. Just thread my new needle. I'm just going to cut these lines in now and match them. I think I'm going to leave it there for today, which I've made quite a lot of progress and I'm quite pleased with how it's looking now. It's not perfect, but I quite like that kind of imperfect look. And yeah, it's really coming together. So I will see you in the next installment when I make some more progress and hopefully I've got too much longer to go now. So I can't wait to know if you get on with any projects and what it is that you're doing. If you want to get in touch, then go to my website, send me a message. I'd love to see your projects yourself, send some pictures. Or also I'd love to know in the comments if you're doing any embroidery projects. Also, if you would like a free tutorial for needle felting, then I've got a cute little freebie, so I will put that in the comments for you as well if you want to get started with needle felting. So thank you for following me and for watching my YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.